Welcome. My name is Chris Goodyear, Director of Hospitality for the San Francisco Giants. We are super excited to be here today with our friends from the Kidney Foundation, cooking up a kidney-friendly recipe here from the kitchen at Oracle Park. And I'm even more excited to be in the kitchen today with my good friend, Ian Vovoda, the executive chef here of Oracle Park. Chef Ian, thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. And what are we making today?
Well, today we're going to make Impossible Chili, which we serve in our garden and a number of other locations within the ballpark, anywhere where we have chili. And also this upcoming season, we're going to have a stand dedicated to Impossible.
That is awesome, and this dish is absolutely flame, let me tell you. It's one of my favorite things at the ballpark. So without further ado, let's just hop right in. Let's fire up the chili. Let's get it rolling. In full disclosure, neither Chef Ian or I are dietitians, so please consult your physician when it comes to any dietary restrictions that you may need with your diet, especially when it comes to your kidney health, which is super, super, super important. Well, let's get started. We've got a lot of our mise en place here and ready, Chef, but why don't we start in with cutting some green scallions,
Okay.
Which you'll see on the recipe card. And Ian, I learned actually a new thing in the kitchen today. Chef, why don't you show our cooking friends at home?
So an easy way to clean a green onion, for me, is I trim off the ends and then just pull off the root end, what's left of it. And then you have a nice, clean green onion.
Chef, I've been doing it wrong for a long time.
It took me a long time to figure that out myself.
You think it'd be easier? And I used to waste so much of the bottom of the onion,
Which is the best part.
the white part, exactly. And now I think I know why I've messed up so many of my salsas in the past. But who knows? Who knows? And while Chef Ian is cutting up some of those green onions, I'm just doing some of our mise en place over here for the cilantro, chopping it up. Chef, for the viewers at home, what is mise en place? Why don't we talk about
Mise en place is all your ingredients ready to go into the pan. It's one of the first words you learn at culinary school.
Awesome. And it just makes it easier because as you see what we have here, when we get to the cooking portion, when we're actually back on the stove, getting the chili fired up, we don't have to pause, reset, cut something, get a can open. It just allows for very fluid flow. So if there's one takeaway for our home cooks and home chefs, it's follow this man's direction. Let me tell you.
All right.
Chef, you're faster than me, but not surprising. All right, looks like I'm pretty close here. We're gonna call my cilantro good. I might want some of these pieces a little smaller, but you know, we are doing all right. Well, great. All right, now following along with our recipe at home, let's get.
We're gonna get our pan going, medium-high heat. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of oil, your preference, whether canola or extra virgin. And once the pan comes up, we'll add our.
We can hang out for a minute and let that pan get hot,
Sure
Chef.
can.
Chef Ian, tell us some fun facts about the Impossible Chili here at the ballpark at Oracle Park.
Well, we go through about 3,000 pounds of Impossible meat for chili alone, and then about another 7,000 burgers were sold last year.
That is a lot of Impossible burgers.
And through that, we've saved 125,000 pounds of carbon dioxide, as well as 6,000 days of personal use water.
That's great.
So it's good for the environment.
That really hits with our sustainable objectives here at Oracle Park. Bon Appetit's sustainable objectives as well. Awesome. Well, I think we've got that pan hot, Chef. Let's get browning.
I'm gonna add our meat.
Oh, do you hear? I hope you can hear that sizzle at home. That is the sound of the start of delicious, let me tell you. And Chef, what's that Impossible meat doing in that pan when you've got it in there? What's going on?
It's rendering a little bit, and it's also browning. starting to cook. We will we'll brown this and then we'll remove it from the pan and then add it back once we get our onions or garlic and other ingredients in.
I've always found that browning, either if we were using actual meat, like either turkey meat, chicken meat, a little bit of beef, browning it really gives that caramelized flavor that comes out is really important to really set the base flavor foundation of the chili. Isn't that right, Chef?
That is correct.
So never skimp on the browning process.
But you don't want to burn it.
Don't burn it. You heard it here from Chef Ian first.
We're gonna let that sit for a minute and then we will.
It's great. We're doing a little slow food here today, Chef. There's no need to rush it.
There is no need. You gotta build those flavors. Sometimes it takes a little. It's cheaper. You know,
Well, it's cool. We're sliding around. Do you guys know that we grew up in the same town of Martinez, California?
Podunk town.
Podunk town.
Alright, so we're starting to get brown. Just want to cook the rawness out of the meat. We'll get some flavor started on the bottom of the pan. You can see we have a little golden brown. And that will come up when we continue with the recipe.
Our kitchen here at Oracle Park is really starting to fill up with all those delicious, delicious aromas.
Alright, so our meat's getting to where we want it, so I'm going to pull it off.
Great. Oh, that is looking good, Chef. I think I have the easiest job of all here today. I just get to hang out with our friend Chef Ian, watch him cook, and then enjoy some delicious chili down the road.
Alright, so now
Awesome. Next step, Chef.
we're going to start with our onions and our garlic. We're going to do the onions first. I'm going to give them a couple minutes.
Chef, did we turn the heat down a little bit in there?
I did. I turned it down because the pan's getting a little brown, so we'll turn it back up. And with the oil, it will start to release all this nice brown flavor at the bottom.
Awesome. And this is a great step for you cooking at home along with us. Feel free to move that pan off, because if you had it on high heat when you were browning your impossible meat, sliding it off to let that pan cool a little bit will allow those aromatics of the onion to really come out. You don't need to rush this step at all. Don't feel like you need to fly through it.
Alright, so these are going to take about 3 minutes.
And what are we looking for in those onions, Chef?
Just to be translucent. Not fully translucent, but they'll start to give off their liquid and they'll be soft.
That onion aroma is now hitting the kitchen as well. You can really start to smell it. And Chef, also too, do you want to talk a little bit about why we didn't add the garlic in yet?
Yeah, because the garlic, if you add it too soon with the onions, it'll tend to burn or brown a little too much. So we like to put it in a little bit later.
Awesome. I'm just going to steal a quick look down into this pot. Oh yeah. And too, probably in your pot at home, you're starting to see that you're starting to get a little bit of those brown bits, those caramelized bits in the bottom of your pot. That's absolutely all right. You'll see it, and Chef Ian will talk about it when we get to our next step. All those flavors are going to get pulled out. So don't get worried if you're at home.
All right, so these are getting soft, so we'll add 3 cloves of garlic.
Now, Chef, one thing just to discuss at home, if I like a little extra garlic in my chili, if I like my chili more spicy, can I kind of adjust the ratio of spice
Absolutely.
or garlic?
The whole recipe, a recipe is a roadmap. So if you want it hotter, you can add more cayenne. If you want it more garlic, you can add more garlic. If you don't want tomato, you can leave the tomato out.
Awesome.
It's up to you. Whatever makes you happy.
I think this is maybe one reason. I know, chef, one of the reasons I like savory cooking, it's a little less forgiving than baking. When you get a little bit, it's a lot more forgiving than baking.
All right. Sorry.
No, quite all right. What's our,
All
so
right,
we've got, so chef, if I could,
Yes.
looks like we've got our onion and garlic going here.
Going.
And I think our next spices are
gonna be-
spice aromatics.
Our aromatics. We have coriander. We have smoked paprika, cumin, cayenne, and black pepper, and a bay leaf. The bay leaf will probably.
And I wanna show these to everybody at home. We can get a view of that in there. We've got these all portioned out, which from talking about mise en place just makes this really easy, so that we don't need to measure out our spices as we go, because we're ready to get these in. I'm gonna slide this back here for chef.
All right. You're gonna just go ahead and put these all in. We're gonna put these in for about 30 seconds just to bloom the spices. Just kind of wake them up a little bit.
And for those of you at home who are already over me talking about all of the flavors and aromas in here, it's not gonna stop now. Those aromas are really gonna start hitting, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
I'm starting to get a smile on my face too.
It's getting really fragrant.
Fragrant, yeah, that's it. Professional chef, somebody who likes to have fun in his own kitchen at home.
All right. Then we need to deglaze. So
Got it, our
we
next
can either
step.
do two ways. We can go with our water now, or we can go with tomato. I'm gonna go with tomato product first.
Awesome. So we've got that's our tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, and then diced tomatoes.
Diced tomatoes. And you can really, one thing when you deglaze or whenever you add acid, deglaze is basically you can use water. If you use wine, it's the acid from the wine. Tomatoes are fairly high acid, so they do the same thing. You'll see them sizzle and start to pull up all of those bits and pieces. And that point that I was talking about earlier, chef, and we should really get a shot of this too, is that as you stir along the bottom, all of those bits and pieces are really going to start to come up.
And that's where all your good flavor is.
This is, I mean, one could argue that besides browning the meat, this step might be one of the most important.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna let that sit, and then we can go ahead and add all of our ingredients.
Great, yeah, we've got the brown sugar to get in as well.
Yep. So brown sugar, 2 tablespoons.
Great. That is looking really good.
Then we can put our meat back in.
Chef, I'll get you cleaned up over here. Every chef needs a good sous chef. I'm a much better sous chef.
And then we're gonna add beans. We have 3 types of beans. We have kidney beans, we have black beans, and we have pinto beans.
And chef, why do you like this trio of beans specifically?
They're classic for chili. Maybe not so much a black bean, but my executive sous chef came up with the recipe. So.
Awesome. I also like catching chef off guard and lobbing him a question that we haven't discussed before.
And then we're gonna add 12 ounces of water.
Water, awesome.
And our diced roasted
peppers.
Then we're gonna turn it up so we can bring everything to a boil.
Got it. And so this now we're just in a little bit of the waiting game. You know, we've got our flavors developed.
Got our flavors going. So
Got our product in there, except for a little salt and pepper, which we can add later.
yep. I'm gonna add my bay leaf.
Bay leaf, really great step.
We'll salt at the end.
Got it. And why why do you usually choose to salt this recipe at the end?
The Impossible meat has salt in it already, so in order to have a product that's perfect, you want to salt at the end. It's easier to add than it is to.
Absolutely. Makes sense to me. So
It's starting to bubble, so I'm going to turn it down shimmer. Oh.
That is,
We'll be ready to eat in 30 minutes.
that is looking great. I can't wait to give this a try. I know Ian can't wait to give this a try. I hope you at home can't wait to give this a try. So we are just in the 30 minutes, patiently waiting for the chili to be simmered down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's take a walk around the ballpark.
Let's do it. Stretch our legs, get some steps in, which I think is important. Great, Chef. Well, we've had our pot with our Impossible Chili on for about 30 minutes. I think it's time to season.
It is. We're gonna start off seasoning with a teaspoon of pepper,
Awesome.
and then we're going to go ahead and get that incorporated.
And going back to our previous comments, this step is very much personal taste and personal preference. If you want more black pepper, less black pepper, adjust it as you see fit. If you've noticed, we also have our tasting spoons out here, so we're gonna kind of taste as we go. But Chef, next step.
We're gonna do salt. We'll start with probably a teaspoon.
Great. And this is the step where I have made the mistake of oversalting some of my dishes before, Chef, and
It's always better to go smaller amounts and build.
there was a very wise person once told me, you can't take the salt out, but you can always add more.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna try it.
Get in there with you too, Chef, if that's all right. Excuse me. A little more salt. Almost there. And then we do have our green herbs as well, which we're going to get in, which is really going to get that flavor there.
So let's start this in.
That was a great step. We added a little bit of salt. We adjusted. We added a little bit more.
And then we're gonna finish with our aromatics. Chopped cilantro and chopped green onions.
Awesome. Those green onions are cut a little bit better than my cilantro. But
It's going in chili. Nobody will ever see it. Alright. Now we have everything incorporated.
oh, that's looking delicious. All right, it's time to taste. Should we plate it up, Chef?
Let's do it.
Do you mind if I do you the honors you cooked hard for me today?
Absolutely.
I'd love to
Appreciate
plate
it.
some up for you.
We have some condiments over here. We have some vegan cheddar cheese to keep it vegan for everybody else, or you can use regular cheddar cheese.
Absolutely. And this vegan cheddar cheese, I'm telling you, I may have been made a fan today. It is not bad at all. So we have our vegan cheddar cheese here. And again, this is to your liking. I personally like a little extra cheese. Is that a good amount
That's
for you,
fine
Chef?
for me.
Oh yeah. A little bit of a creamy element in there. We're gonna garnish up with, just to make this nice, little cilantro sprig across the top for you. And if you wanted to add a little bit of fresh chopped cilantro or some scallion on top, you could as well. And for me personally, I like a little bit of extra acid, so I'm going to serve mine with a slice of lime. Chef, would you like a slice of lime as well?
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's get this. I'm going to get you a spoon, Chef.
All right.
Slide this to the back. Here's a spoon for you, Chef. Help yourself. I'm going to give my little lime a squeeze, and we are at what they call in the biz the moment of truth. Moment of truth.
The moment.
I mean, I'm feeling good about this already, but oh yeah. The aromas, all those spices that we bloomed.
Yeah. So good.
Oh! Let me tell you, this is absolutely fire. This chili is amazing. Those spices are really coming through. If I didn't know that there was impossible meat in this, I would assume it just had
Chili.
ground beef. Yeah, ground beef, ground chuck, something in it. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. Chef, how's yours?
It's great. I love it.
Well,
Can't wait to turn off the camera so we can really get into it.
I think that's a perfect segue, Chef. We're gonna leave you right here. This chili was absolutely amazing. It's been a pleasure cooking with you at home. Chef Ian, an absolute pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Now go, get out there, enjoy your chili, enjoy cooking at home. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Greatly appreciated.